Let's wrap things up. Let's talk about putting it into practice and summarize everything that we've learned. But first, congratulations, you did it. If you made it through all the videos and you're now here, great job. I love that you were willing to invest in your learning and follow along through this. I hope that you've been doing the reflections. We're going to talk more about summarizing everything, how we can put it into practice, but I just wanted to pause and congratulate you because all too often, and I know this as an overachiever, we don't slow down to congratulate ourselves for doing things, for learning new things, for investing in ourselves. We just move on to the next thing. I can't tell you how many times I've finished a LinkedIn learning and then started another one right away. Didn't even take a moment to be like, great job, you did that. So huzzah for you. To recap, these are the 5 things that we've talked about. 1, how to shift your mindset. So how to go from avoidance to confidence of difficult conversations, because we've all avoided a conversation that we thought would be difficult or two. 2, triggers and diffusion, how to realize triggers in ourselves and in others and how to diffuse those situations. 3, active listening and empathy. How do you make people feel heard and understood and thus more connected to you, making a conversation so much less difficult? 4, how to push back, how to be assertive without being rude, because sometimes we can't say yes to everything, so we need to be able to do that calmly, but in a fashion that is setting a boundary. And then number 5 is that rethink framework. So that's the acronym we have to think through how do we move from tension to resolution. Now we move into the section where I would love you to commit to some things. You can commit to one of these, all of these, but this is how we're going to put this into practice. What I like to do is I like to put these things into my calendar. So I literally will create an event for myself and I'll color it in a certain color so I know it's specifically related to actions or promises or commitments I'm keeping to myself. I put it in the calendar to make sure I actually do this work. I dare you to identify a difficult conversation. Maybe there's a conversation you've been avoiding, whether it be at work or with a loved one. I dare you to find a time to have that and just get it done with. I dare you to choose a framework. Select one of the different frameworks that we talked about and apply it to your next difficult conversation. The next time you know that you have one coming up, you can even review the PDF and think about what those different items are and how best to approach this conversation, even if it's a conversation where you just have to give someone feedback. Look over those notes again, think through the steps, and then go and have that conversation. The third one, I dare you to practice active listening. So the next conversation or meeting that you're having, and I mean the next one that you're having, try actively listening and see how differently that conversation goes. See what new information you learn about this other human. See if you maybe understand something more from their perspective because you actively listened and asked questions. Try to understand them as much as you can before you respond. And then number 4, and this is something maybe you could put in a little reminder each Friday or something, reflect on your week and think about what conflict style you had that week. Was one more than the other? Is there one that you always go to? And if there is, what are some techniques that you can use for yourself to de-escalate that sooner, to catch it sooner so that you're not getting to that raised emotional state? Or even just try experimenting with a different approach. If usually you're very assertive and aggressive, try one of the other ones on for size just to see what it feels like, just to see how that conversation might go differently. You're going to be great. I can't wait to see how your conversations are going to change with this new knowledge. I know that it's changed how my conversations have gone and how I approach them and even how I think about them. Those scary conversations that I used to dread having have become so much easier because I use these techniques all the time. And then I'll also mention, if you're someone like me who loves testing out AI and seeing what new ways I can use it, I do have a video coming out that's going to talk about using generative AI to prep for a difficult conversation. So let's say there's one coming up. I have a whole bunch of suggestions of how you can use something like ChatGPT to prep for that conversation, feel more confident, get your words in your head and how you'd like them to go, and even how it can help calm you prior to that conversation happening. There'll be a link below that you can just click on and it'll take you right to it. All right, and to close things off, I get it. It might feel hard and awkward and scary at first. Again, recovering people pleaser, I get it. But I promise that you will get better and better over time. If you keep practicing these different techniques, these different ideas, it will become easier and easier and less scary. Not to say you won't still have discomfort. Certain difficult conversations are always going to feel icky, but when you're prepared for them, when you go through these steps, when you're able to calm your own emotions and try to allow other people to feel heard, it's going to go smoother than it would have before. I hope you followed along and did all the different reflections and questions. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep working on these kinds of skills. If these kinds of critical human skills are important to you and something you want to keep perfecting and working on, although perfect, oh God, get that word out of here. You want to keep leveling up, then keep coming back here and I'll have more of these types of videos to help you level up those skills and think about those day-to-day interactions that you have with all of the wonderful and interesting and curious humans in your life. I'm so glad you came by. Hopefully I'll see you soon.